Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special announcement from Invitation to a Conversation. My guest today is from Transformative Justice Coalition. Barbara R. Arnwine is the Esquire, President and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition. She is internationally renowned for contributions on critical justice issues, including the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act. And with her also is Mr. Daryl D. Jones. He is the board and chair co-leader of Transformative Justice Coalition. Good evening, Ms. Arnwine and Mr. Jones. How you doing?
We're great. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Thank you for accepting my invitation on such short notice. One of the questions I have is, what is your purpose here in Brunswick, Georgia, prior to the trial of Ahmaud Arbery?
Well, I just want to say one thing is we've been to Brunswick quite a lot. In fact, Daryl and I think we kind of know some of the routes by just intuition now. We've been up and down Norwich Street and all kinds of, streets backwards and forwards, Albany, we've been everywhere. And so I want to, because we made a pledge to the Arbery family back in 2020 and pledged then that we would be with them every single court hearing, every single step of the way until justice was achieved here in this case. And so, as you know, there are two proceedings, the murder trial, which will be coming for next week. In a few days, actually.
Next Monday.
And there's also the, yes, starting Monday. And then also there's the hate crimes trial. We have attended both and have been monitoring both. Daryl Jones is a former prosecutor, and he is the defense attorney actively now, in addition to his great roles with the Transformative Justice Coalition. And he is the conceptualizer of the programming that we're going to be doing every evening as part of this. So with that said, Daryl, I think that just kind of lays a little bit of the foundation, but you can definitely fill it out.
Oh yeah, and I think, Ms. Bailey, your question was, why are we coming down there? What's our purpose?
Yes.
And our purpose is this. We recognize that the killing of Ahmaud Arbery is today's Emmett Till. And what we mean by that was that the murder of Emmett Till by white vigilantes in 1955 is no different than the murder of Ahmaud Arbery that occurred on the 23rd of February in 2020. So we recognize that, we understand that. And the primary reason that we're coming down, number one, is to stand with the family, as Barbara has said. In addition to that, this is much larger than Brunswick, Georgia. This is the American jurisprudence system, the whole legal system that's being put on trial during this time. Ahmaud Arbery was a young Black guy, 23, 24, 25 years old, that was out jogging. That's all he was doing, was jogging. Went into a house that was under construction, that was not occupied, and did nothing wrong in the house, did nothing more than what many people do when they see a new construction in their neighborhood. Go be nosy, go look around, see what's in there, what they're gonna look like, where they're gonna put the bathroom. At some point, when he came back out and understand jogging outfit, right? He has his t-shirt on and his running shorts. The neighbors, the white neighbors, and this is a predominantly white neighborhood that he was in, that he had jogged into, they decided that they were going to get him. They were going to get him. Whatever history that they thought that they knew, they decided that they were going to get this Black man. And they got in their vehicles, they cornered him, they trapped him, they shot him, they killed him, and then to add insult to injury, One of them was a former police officer out of Glenn County in that area, who worked for the state's attorney's office, who then calls the then state's attorney, Jackie Johnson, and asks what to do. We just killed this person. And she tells them to go wash their hands, go take showers, go destroy the evidence of what they have done. She instructs the police to stand down. Don't arrest these guys. So why are we coming down? We're coming down to be certain that justice is served in the name of Ahmaud Arbery. We're coming down to be certain that the criminal justice system does not have its finger on the scale against the Black family that is the victim in this case. That's the reason that we're coming down.
We're also coming down so that there's no doubt in this world to anyone that the Arbery family is surrounded, not just surrounded by God, but that they're surrounded physically from people. Let me tell you where these people are coming from. Mm-hmm. They're getting on buses and they're riding in from New York City, Philadelphia, Annapolis, Maryland, Washington, D.C. They're coming in from Columbia, South Carolina. They're coming in from Birmingham, Alabama. They're coming in from All Points, Georgia, Atlanta. They're coming in from Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Louisville, Kentucky. The people there said, no way were they going to leave the Arbery family standing alone after what they went through for a year plus with Breonna Taylor. They said they're going to be there. And I want people to understand that this is important to the nation. People feel, you know why Milwaukee wants to come so bad.
Yes.
Come on, they're still struggling from what went on last year.
Yes.
Why do people in Chicago care so much? So many people coming from Chicago, Laquan McDonald, yes, and name some more. New York, we know what, there's a reason. Eric Gardner's image is still in everyone's mind. People have talked to us about Trayvon. Then they Trayvon killing on that people, are here, calling for. So we want you to understand that this is about community. It's about our national community. It's about the national quest for justice. It's not just about the Arbery's quest for justice, because that's critical to us, but it's also about the fact that the entire nation, the entire world needs to know that this trial is happening and needs to have their attention on it. Go on, Daryl.
Right, and in addition to that, it's important to understand, we're not coming down to simply watch a trial.
No,
right? We're not coming down to simply monitor what's happening. It goes beyond that. Yes, we're going to do that. We are going to monitor the trial. And to be clear, to be very clear, we have some of the top criminal defense lawyers in the country that are coming down and will be monitoring the trial. But in addition to monitoring the trial, in addition to comforting the family, in addition to gathering the community in a community hug, to be certain that we are tight and remember one another. In addition to that, this is a learning experience. And every night of the week that we are in Brunswick, Georgia, we will be holding a teletown hall. And you can get to the teletown hall through our Facebook Live feed through the Transformative Justice Coalition. But every night of the week, we will have a panel discussion about various topics of concern in the African-American community and the community of color, not simply in Brunswick, but Brunswick, Atlanta, all cities throughout the United States. The first night we'll be talking to the Arbery family so people get a chance to really know the Arbery family, a little chance to know what Ahmaud Arbery was all about, what he was, Quez, as they call him. Those are the things that how he used to joke around with his family, how he'd give anything that he had to anybody that needed anything, that he wasn't a violent person, that he was the antithesis of a violent person, that he was such a family guy that the football jersey that he used in high school. He wanted to wear his brother's number, right? It was about his legacy. It was about being part of the family. That's what was snuffed out here. So what we learned throughout the panel discussions, the first one we'll talk to the Arbery family. We'll have another one where we're talking about the American jurisprudence system on trial, what the Arbery trial actually means. We'll have another where we're talking about brothers, right? Brothers in the street and the call for action. What's going on in the street with the brothers? We'll have another on that Friday that is Say Her Name. And the women and the sisters come together and talk about the issues that are facing the women in our community. In addition to that, we don't leave the community out of clergy, right? We have a faith night, and we have some of the major faith leaders in the country coming to talk about the role of the Black church in the fight for social justice, in the fight for political justice. So it's an exciting week of activity that's planned, and we encourage everyone to go to our Facebook page to get more information. And Barbara, I know you want to add some more to it.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this: are you all the lead vocal people that are going to provide the buses for the people to get here from across the states?
It's our money. Yeah.
Okay. And when will that pickup
It's
start?
all Transformative Justice Coalition.
When will that pickup
when
start?
will the buses start?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to start Friday. They're going to start Friday for some of the buses because of, like St. Louis and other places.
Right.
But most of the pickups will be Saturday, or very early Saturday. Most of the pickups will be.
How many buses do you have?
About 7.
And how many people are you are anticipating? Did they have to RSVP ahead of time?
Listen, you cannot be part of our group if you're not registered on the Eventbrite, because we have to pay for hotel rooms and for food. And so we said that we always were shooting for 50 to 100 people. We are almost at that maximum right now.
Is there a fee for them to come?
Of course not. If it's the Transformative Justice Coalition, everything we do is to the public for free. And we want to make sure, our great, generous donors and supporters make it possible for us to do these things, and for us to make sure that people come. We will pay for the buses, the hotel rooms, and all the meals. And you're going to see it. People, you're not going to miss us in Brunswick, because we're marching on Sunday. We're marching from Holy Band Church all the way to the Ahmaud Arbery mural. And we are marching in the streets, and we're going to be calling justice for Ahmaud. We will be outside the courthouse in the area that they've designated for the press and for us. And we will have a tent. We will have daily lunch. We'll have daily prayers. We're serious. I mean, this is not meant to be, but you got to also know one thing about the Transformative Justice Coalition. We live in voting. Voting is our number one subject area. We wouldn't know the Arbery's but for the fact that they turned out to help us to help people vote. And it's been their assistance and their leadership and their consciousness about the criticality of voting that has brought us together. There never would be a relationship otherwise. And so during this period of time while we're there, we're going to be doing voter registration with the local community. We're going to be passing out information on the Freedom to Vote Act and other developments, so that people really understand that if you want to deal with the Jackie Johnsons and the bad actors, you wanted the best representatives, that you got to vote.
When is the last day for the pickup? When's the last day for the pickup?
16th.
Okay,
we start on the 16th with our first event to welcome everybody there. And then on the 17th, we have the march at 1 o'clock.
Okay,
through the
so,
streets of Brunswick.
so it's only 1 day pickup, and that's the only day that the pickup, it starts and ends the same day?
No, as I mentioned, some of the pickup will start on Friday the 15th.
Right,
And other pickups will be on the 16th. It depends on from where you're coming.
okay. And how long will they be here?
Oh, 1 week. We
1
told people they got to take off a week from work. And you know what, Daryl, it just makes my heart sing that we got 100 people.
And how
saying
would,
that they're willing to take a week off of work to
how
be
will,
here to stand with the Arbery family.
when the people come here, how will they be able to view the trial every day?
Yeah, and we will have, and there are a couple of ways that it can be done. The one way is that we know that some people will be at the courthouse because it's a small courthouse, but they will have, the availability for, or some capacity for people to come inside to watch. What we're working on in addition to that is that we're working to have it televised, because we've already received permission to be able to have the live feed come out of the courthouse to wherever you want to have it displayed. So what we want to do is, it's our desire to be able to have that displayed at a tent outside of the courthouse so that people will be able to sit. We'll have chairs and a tent that's there for people to be able to sit and watch the proceedings as they are unfolding. In addition to that, we'll also have our transport service that'll be taking people back and forth so that if they need to go to the hotel for anything, that's available too. And we're not going to leave anyone hungry, right? So during the court trial break, we're going to be feeding the folks. They're going to have their lunch and everything right there as a community, staying with the Arbery family throughout the proceedings, so long as people want to stand there with the family.
So once again, can you give me your email address so I can post it on Facebook with this video, and give me some daily event dates and times so I can also post it with this video?
Absolutely. And actually the whole itinerary for the entire week is found at the Eventbrite site, which can be located at TJC Justice, the number 2.eventbrite.com.
Eventbrite.
TJC Justice, the number 2.eventbrite.com. And when you go through
TJC Justice 2.eventbrite.com.
Exactly. And when you go to that site, you'll be able to scroll through it and you will find the itinerary for the entire week of action for Ahmaud Arbery. And it will lay it all out to you, everything that's going on each and every day that the Transformative Justice Coalition is sponsoring.
And roughly 7 o'clock, roughly from 7 o'clock on every night, people should be viewing that as Ahmaud Arbery time, because we will start having, we will have programs every night, beginning with Sunday after 7 o'clock p.m. And they vary from day to day because of our guests. And we do want people to know there's some special guests coming. It's gonna blow people's minds who will walk into the streets with us. It's gonna blow people's minds who are taking their time to be there with the Arbery family. We know for example, the Emmett Till family is coming. They're coming. The Emmett Till Foundation will be there. They're coming because they see the correlation. We know, as I mentioned, people from Louisville and all kinds of people, but we got some big, quote, big names who are coming also and who will be there. And so we're not playing. We are serious about making this a nationally critical event for the entire nation, that nobody can say they had no idea there was an Ahmaud Arbery trial happening.
How long has this organization, Transformative Justice Coalition, been around?
Well, let me let the creator answer that question.
Thank you. I founded the Transformative Justice Coalition in June of 2015. And I was fortunate enough to meet Daryl actually for the first time at one of our first public events. in June, I'm sorry, in that November, was it Daryl, or October? It was
Somewhere,
that
yeah,
fall.
in the,
It's that fall of 2015 that I actually had the joy of meeting Daryl. He became our board chair in 2019, and what a blessing that was. Who would have known how much we would need him to get through the intervening years and to keep established in this organization as the powerhouse that it is.
Yes. How right now to this day, how is the Arbery family doing right now?
mm,
They were our guests today on the radio show. It was painful. That's all I can say. It's painful.
and
No,
part,
no,
yeah, and Barbara, I think that a part of what people, it's what people don't know about the Arbery case that is most troublesome in my mind. And there's information that people don't know, not because of their ignorance,
no.
not because they're not trying to know, but there are things that people don't know because the police never released it. There are things that people don't know because the prosecutor never released it.
There's videos that none of us have seen yet.
Yes, I heard there's another video that we haven't seen yet. Yes.
Think about it. You had all those police officers with their own cameras.
Right there at the scene.
Exactly. How many of those have we seen?
While he was laying dying
Exactly.
in the street. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot that we haven't seen yet that we want to see. That's why we're going to be there. Remember, not only did Jackie Johnson mess up this case, not only did she do her misdeeds trying to protect her white friends, not only did she, remember the second prosecutor,
yes,
said that it was clearly self-defense.
Barnhill.
Right. He messed up. I mean, let's just think about it. It was so tainted that the prosecutors are from where, folks? They're not from Glenn County.
They're from Atlanta.
They're not from Brunswick. They're from Cobb County. The judge is not from Glenn County. He's not from Brunswick. He's from outside. The law enforcement system was so tainted by this misconduct that you can't even have the leadership, local leadership over this trial.
Do you think that the officers that were actually there after he got shot and he was lying there, are they going to be prosecuted?
We shall see.
Yeah.
That's why those cameras are going to be so important, because we do understand that you're going to actually hear, and this came out as part of the indictment against Johnson, that you're going to actually hear officers fighting among themselves because people are saying, get him help. Others aren't saying that. You're going to hear people saying, they got to be arrested. This is wrong. They must be arrested. You're gonna hear all kind of stuff on these tapes, and so we want to hear it. We want to hear it.
Yeah.
And the painful piece of this, and what I was sharing with Barbara some time ago, is that politically, what happens is that the Glenn County Police Department has set itself up in a very horrible position, because what's happening is information is coming drip by drip.
Oh, it's horrible.
And they think that they're hiding information, but each time another drip comes, the question comes into everybody's mind, how many more drips are there?
Yes.
What else are you hiding? If you can't give it all up at one time, why not?
Yes.
You have all these cameras, but why are we getting this drip by drip? And then the next question that immediately comes to mind, as Barbara was laying out very masterfully what has happened with the police department and the prosecutor in this matter, where's the federal government? Why are we not having an investigation of the Glenn County Police Department?
Well,
we know that there's nastiness that's going on. We know that there were lies that were being told. We know that the Glenn County Police Department told Marcus Arbery, who is Ahmaud Arbery's father, that Ahmaud was shot inside a house. Inside a house. And that was an lie
Mhm.
to his face. When he went down to the police department, when he went down to the state's attorney's office every day following the killing of his son, they would not tell him any information. They would not show him any information. They wouldn't tell him about the films. They wouldn't have communication with him about how his son died.
And
This is problematic.
And to my understanding, the video was shown at the site of the murder to the police officer.
They knew it
But
existed.
it took weeks for them to show it to the public.
That's
Exactly.
correct. To even
And
acknowledge
you're
that it exists.
and you're saying it, but there's more than one it. Yeah, that's
Right.
the whole thing. There isn't just one tape. There's more than
Right.
one it. There's several tapes. All
And we
these
need to
officers are
see.
wearing cameras. You need them all.
Well, how
I
did you?
just wanted to, there's one other thing, Miss Bailey.
Mhm,
I want everybody in Brunswick who's watching us,
mhm.
I want you to know that we know you can't have a shooting and a death like this without it affecting everybody, every family, everybody.
Well-
And we want people to know that we want you to join us in March on Sunday, because we're going to have a community cookout.
Mhm.
We're going to feed the entire community to thank everybody for standing tall in this moment. We want people to join us during the day outside the courthouse.
Mhm.
This is an opportunity for your children to learn, for you to get deeper with and to meet a lot of good people who want to meet you. So don't view this as something in isolation.
Mhm.
We want the Brunswick community. If you're for the Arbery family, if you're for justice, be with us, because that's what we're here for.
Just look at it for a second on the flip side. Just imagine if this story didn't get out. It is on the shoulders of Ahmaud's mother and his father, where they
Amen.
stood
Amen.
and shouted and shouted.
Yes.
When the story first came out, I read it over the weekend paper, and the weekend paper came out and they just said that someone got shot in this subdivision in a gated community. And then it didn't say anything more about it. And they never released the name, the age, whether it was an adult, a female, or a child. And then the video comes out, the GBI comes out, and the video comes out. But I would just like to say we're kind of running out of time.
Yes, because I gotta go.
Bless you for what you are doing.
you.
I hopefully that I can meet you sometimes in person while you're here.
Look forward to it.
And I would love for both of y'all to come back after the trial, and we'll speak in depth about your organization and about the trial and what you did. But I have one last question for you. How long do you think this trial will last? What is your
That's
speculation?
a Daryl question. As a former prosecutor and as a defense attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It won't be over in a week unless they plead
Right.
guilty.
And you're probably looking at about a 2-week trial in this particular situation. And the one piece that could prolong it any longer further is if there are expert testimony, if there are expert witnesses that are coming in to testify. It's not real clear right now from my perspective whether or not they're going to have experts that are going to be brought in. It seems as though this is more of a factual and perhaps legal argument type of a case that the defense is going to be presenting. But if there are expert witnesses, then that would prolong the length of the complete trial. I would estimate you're probably looking at about a 8 to 10 day trial at this point in time.
Have y'all met the prosecutor of the trial yet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like we said, we've been here for all these hearings.
Okay.
So we've met all the attorneys. And we've
Right.
even.
And that's for both the state and the federal,
Right.
both the state and the federal prosecutors.
Oh,
Absolutely. And
and
talk with them.
I
Mhm.
keep saying one last question.
No, but I gotta go. Yeah.
Okay, but this
But
is
Daryl
the
can stay on, but I need to leave.
one last one. How did y'all feel when the judge denied the evidence of his prior run-ins with the police and his mental condition. I think that was a major, major blessing.
Never should have been a question.
Mhm.
If it had been one of us ruling, let me tell you, that would have been ruled from the bench and it would have been denied. But he's a careful judge. He tries to be fair. He entertains things that other judges would have thrown out of there. He tries to be fair. I think he's bent over backwards to be fair, because none of that should have ever been having to be briefed, having to be argued. It was just nonsense to begin with, because the bottom line is when they killed Ahmaud, they didn't know if his name was Sam, Turkey, Junior. They had no clue who he was. All they knew was that he was a Black man who had run through their neighborhood before and who they didn't like it. That's all they knew. And now they're trying to hide who they really are. You saw that whole motion trying to get rid of the pictures that show their Confederate, that shows the Confederate flag on one of the cars.
Mhm.
That was a vanity plate, as Daryl will tell you. He wanted the world to see that flag. And now all of a sudden you don't. You know, there's a lot going on here. There's so much going on underneath all of this, but we're going to be there to get to the truth. I'm not leaving Brunswick until the trial is over.
Well, thank you.
And-
Thank you both.
Yes.
Thank you both. I know you're short on time, but
Yes, because we have a
once again,
meeting of all our people tonight.
okay, come back again after the trial and I'll see you
Thank you.
sometime this week. Have a blessed
Thank you
one.
so much.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Miss Bailey. You're great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.